Yo, what's going on? It's Keith from Black Quarterback Series. Excuse me if y'all hear the wind. Obviously, I'm outside. So I'm walking to the store looking through YouTube trying to figure out what I want to watch. And I see this idiot Collin talking, as he normally does. And it was okay. He was talking about Baker Mayfield. But then he goes on to compare Baker Mayfield to Jameis Winston and Cam and Johnny Manziel. And that's where we intervene, right?
Matt Stafford, sort of boring. Most of the great quarterbacks were. Peyton Manning, again, got really funny after he played. But you have to be totally committed, and you have to be a serious person. Jameis Winston was never serious. Cam was into Cam. Johnny Manziel into Johnny Manziel.
So I'm going to let y'all listen to, and this video might get copyrighted. I don't care, because this has to get out. You're not just going to talk about Cam. I expect the Black Quarterback Series guy not to say nothing. It's probably be a long video, too. So as y'all can see, as the wind is blowing like crazy, as y'all can see, he's talking about Cam as if he was terrible his last couple of years. Are we just not going to talk about the offensive line? We're not going to talk about the injuries. We're not going to talk about the dysfunction in the organization. We're not going to talk about how literally the Panthers were sold under his reign. We're not going to talk about how he literally had no offensive weapons at his tenure in Carolina. We're just not going to talk about that. We're just going to talk about Cam's personality. And if I can find him, I'll put some videos up about players talking about how great Cam is. Just because somebody is flamboyant don't mean that they're an asshole. Baker Mayfield is not a good quarterback. Johnny Manziel was not a good quarterback. So for you to put Cam Newton in that same situation. So that part of the video was honestly way too loud, and I wasn't even going to burden you guys with that. So just to summarize what I said right there, to put Cam in the same vein as Baker Mayfield and Johnny Manziel is pure BS, because he's better than both of those guys. And nobody talks about it, but we all know Jameis Winston threw 30 interceptions just based off the offense. Based off the offense that Bruce Arians runs. And we see what happened when a guy's stature actually calls Bruce Arians on his BS, because he's no longer the head coach of the Bucs. So that's essentially what I was saying in this part. We get back to the video. And nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about that, though. But Jameis Winston just threw 30 interceptions himself, when Tom Brady literally just got the man fired because he wanted to throw the ball more, but Tom Brady was like, nah, we need to have a more balanced offense. I'm not trying to throw 50 balls at 87,000 years old. But it's okay when the guy Brady does it, but Jameis Winston threw 30 interceptions, and he was also top 10 in passing. He was also top 10 in touchdowns that year. I'm going to vet that to make sure I'm right, but I feel like I'm closer to being right, because he had such an anomaly type season. So, I just have to get that off my chest, because Collin is such an idiot, and he'll take any chance to rag on Kyrie Irving or Aaron Rodgers or Cam Newton, sitting here acting like Cam Newton's just this awful guy, and you probably even watched his games. And I'm a Cam guy. I love Cam, but we're not going to sit here and act like he was in New England because he just couldn't play anymore. The guy was hurt, and they released him. And they've been looking for a quarterback ever since. He didn't play well last year, but he played decent enough in his last year in New England, or in his year in New England, to justify him being on the roster. So, but yeah, that's all I got to say. If I say any more, you guys will see me sitting in my regular set. So, y'all have a good rest of the day.